Early life and family background. Pamela Suzette Greer was born on May 26, 1949, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the eldest of 4 children to Gwendolyn Sylvia Davis, a nurse and homemaker, and Clarence Ransom Greer Jr., a U.S. Air Force mechanic and technical sergeant. Her family heritage is diverse, encompassing African American, Hispanic, Chinese, Filipino, and Cheyenne ancestry. Raised initially in the segregated South, Greer's childhood was marked by frequent relocations due to her father's military service. Shortly after her birth, the family returned to Colorado, where her parents had met and married. In 1956, they moved to Swindon, England, for her father's assignment at an airbase. Greer later reflected that this period was free from the overt racism she experienced in the U.S., allowing her a sense of normalcy. The family returned to the United States in 1958, briefly staying at Travis Air Force Base in California before settling near Lowry Air Force Base in Denver, Colorado. Greer spent summers on her maternal grandparents' sugar beet farm in rural Wyoming, a homestead established by ancestors who escaped slavery via the Underground Railroad. These experiences instilled in her a deep love for animals and nature. A pivotal childhood story involves her overcoming a stutter at age 6 by bonding with a gentle horse on the farm, an event that shaped her lifelong affinity for equestrian activities and animals. Raised Catholic and later baptized Methodist, Greer faced bullying and racism in Denver schools, which contributed to her stutter, a challenge she addressed through speech therapy and theater. She has one sister, Gina, and one brother, Rodney, often referred to as Rod. Tragically, another sister died of cancer in 1990, and her nephew, the sister's son, later died by suicide due to grief. Education and early interests. Greer attended East High School in Denver, where she excelled academically and artistically. She played organ and piano for the school's Echoes of Youth Gospel Choir alongside future Earth, Wind and Fire members Philip Bailey, Larry Dunn, and Andrew Woolfolk. Aspiring to become a doctor, she participated in beauty pageants and stage productions to fund her college tuition, placing 3rd in the 1967 Colorado State Miss Universe competition. This led to her discovery by an agent, though she initially resisted pursuing acting. She enrolled at Metropolitan State College, now Metropolitan State University of Denver, in 1967 to study medicine but soon pivoted toward the arts. In recognition of her later achievements, Greer received an honorary doctorate of humane letters from the University of Maryland Eastern Shore in 2011 and an honorary doctorate of science from Langston University. Career beginnings: late 1960s, early 1970s. In 1967, at age 18, Greer moved to Los Angeles against her parents' wishes, initially working as a switchboard operator at American International Pictures, AIP. There, she was spotted by director Jack Hill and cast in small roles, including as a partygoer in Russ Meyer's Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, 1970. Her breakthrough came through producer Roger Corman, who launched her in the women in prison genre with The Big Dollhouse, 1971, as Greer, followed by Women in Cages, 1971, as Alabama, and The Big Bird Cage, 1972, as Blossom. These low-budget exploitation films showcased her physicality and charisma, honed from high school sports and self-taught martial arts. Greer trained in karate and other disciplines to prepare for action roles, becoming one of the few women in Hollywood capable of performing her own stunts. Rise to fame: Blaxploitation era, 1970s. The 1970s marked Greer's ascent as a cultural icon in the blaxploitation genre, where she portrayed fierce, independent black women fighting systemic oppression, a rarity in an industry that marginalized black actresses. Directed by Jack Hill, Coffee, 1973, as Nurse Coffee Coffin, was her star-making turn, a vigilante nurse avenging her sister's drug overdose, blending action, sensuality, and social commentary on urban decay and racism. The film grossed over $4 million on a $500,000 budget and established her as the first African-American woman to headline a major action film. This led to Foxy Brown, 1974, as Foxy Brown, another revenge thriller that became a feminist touchstone, inspiring characters like Kill Bill's bride and earning Greer the nickname Foxy. Other key roles included Black Mama White Mama, 1973, as Lee Daniels, chained to a white prisoner in a Philippine jungle escape, Scream Black Hilla Scream, 1973, as Lisa Fortier, The Arena, 1974, as Mamawi, a gladiator, Sheba, Baby, 1975, as Private Detective Sheba Shane, Bucktown, 1975, as Aretha, and Friday Foster, 1975, as a fashion model turned investigator. Greer's films grossed millions collectively, challenging Hollywood norms by centering black female leads in action narratives amid the civil rights and women's liberation movements. Critics like Roger Ebert praised her physical life and beauty, while she navigated typecasting and the genre's exploitative elements. Later 1970s work included Hitman, 1972, as Gozelda, Drum, 1976, as Regine, Twilight of Love, 1977, as Sandra, and a supporting role in Grease Lightning, 1977, as Mary Jones, opposite Richard Pryor as Wendell Scott, Career Challenges and Transition, 1980s, 1990s. The decline of blaxploitation in the late 1970s left Greer struggling for roles, exacerbated by industry biases against aging black women. She took smaller parts in mainstream films: a prostitute in Fort Apache, The Bronx, 1981, The Dust Witch in Something Wicked This Way Comes, 1983, and Steven Seagal's partner in Above the Law, 1988. A role in Rocket Gibraltar, 1988, was cut due to fears of backlash over interracial scenes. Theater provided an outlet. She debuted in Sam Shepard's Fool for Love, 1985, at the Los Angeles Theater Center. Television offered stability. Guest spots on The Love Boat, 1980, Miami Vice, 1985 to 1990, recurring as Valerie Gordon, Crime Story, 1986 to 1988, recurring as Susan Terry, The Cosby Show, 1987, and Frank's Place, 1988. She also appeared in TV films like Roots, The Next Generations, 1979, as Francie, and Badge of the Assassin, 1985, as Alexandra Horn. Her revival came with Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown, 1997, as flight attendant Jackie Brown, Smuggling Guns, a role Tarantino wrote for her after discovering her in Foxy Brown. The film earned her a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress, NAACP Image Award, and Screen Actors Guild nod, revitalizing her career at 48. Other 1990s films: Posse, 1993, Original Gangstas, 1996, Escape from L.A., 1996, Mars Attacks, 1996, and Jawbreaker, 1999. Later career and television success: 2000s present. Greer balanced film and TV in the 2000s: Ghosts of Mars, 2001, as Commander Helena Braddock, Bones, 2001, The Adventures of Pluto Nash, 2002, 3 a.m., 2001, and Larry Crown, 2011, as Francis. Voice work included Justice League, 2002, and The Wild Thornberrys, 1999. Her TV pinnacle was as lesbian artist Kit Porter in The L Word, 2004 to 2009, 70 episodes, earning an NAACP Image Award nomination and praise for portraying complex queer characters. Recurring roles followed: Amanda Waller in Smallville, 2010, Grandma in This Is Us, 2018 to 2019, Constance Terry in Bless This Mess, 2019 to 2020, and Athena Reeve in Them, 2024, main cast. Recent films include Palms, 2019, Cinnamon, 2023, Pet Sematary, Bloodlines, 2023, and As We Know It, 2023. Voice credits: Bob's Burgers, 2024, and The Great North, 2022. She voiced herself in Grand Theft Auto V, 2013, and appeared in Call of Duty: Infinite Warfare, 2017. In 2010, she published her memoir Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts, detailing her traumas and triumphs. A biopic titled Pam was announced in 2018. As of 2025, at age 76, Greer remains active, with IndieWire, 2016, naming her among the best actors never Oscar-nominated in Turner Classic Movies, dedicating a 2022 podcast season to her personal life, relationships, and health challenges. Greer has never married and has no children, prioritizing independence. Her high-profile romances include basketball star Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 1969. He proposed if she'd convert to Islam, but she declined. Comedian Freddie Prinze, 1973 to 1976, ended due to his addiction. She was among his last contacts before his 1977 suicide. And Richard Pryor, 1977. She supported his sobriety, but he relapsed amid cocaine use. Other links: Don Cornelius and Jimmy Wheeler. She was engaged to music executive Kevin Evans, 1998 to 1999. Greer disclosed in her memoir being sexually assaulted at age 6 by older boys at her aunt's house and date raped at 18in 1988. At 39, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cervical cancer and given 18 months to live. Through aggressive treatment, including surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy, she achieved remission, crediting holistic approaches like diet and spirituality. This battle profoundly influenced her, leading to advocacy for early detection. Now residing on a 100-acre ranch in Santa Fe, New Mexico, purchased in the 1980s, Greer is an avid horsewoman, owning rescues, and practices yoga and meditation. she's close to actor Rosie Greer, no relation, and supports her siblings' ventures, like an ethnic design shop in Denver. Activism and legacy. A trailblazer for black women in action cinema, Greer founded the Pam Grier Community Garden and Education Center in 2011 with the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum, promoting organic gardening, nutrition, and health in underserved communities. She was inducted into the museum's Hall of Fame that year. Her roles empowered audiences during turbulent times, influencing modern icons like Halle Berry and Lupita Nyong'o. Awards include the 2003 Trumpet Award, 2024 Toronto Black Film Festival Lifetime Achievement, and 9th Annual 2020 Award. Tarantino called her cinema's first female action star, and Rotten Tomatoes ranks her second among greatest female action heroines. Greer's net worth is estimated at $12 million, reflecting a career spanning over 150 credits. 2/2 Fast. Pam Grier, born May 26, 1949, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, redefined what it meant to be a leading lady in Hollywood, earning the title Queen of Action Films. Her mother, Gwendolyn, a nurse, and father, Clarence, an Air Force mechanic, moved often due to his military service, leaving Pam without a stable sense of home. At 7, living in Swindon, England, she experienced a stark contrast to the racism she later faced in America. In England, she noted, kids were taught to hate Germans, not us, a memory that shaped her understanding of prejudice. Returning to Denver, Colorado, in 1958, she encountered systemic racism. Buses wouldn't stop, restaurants refused service, and a whites-only pool turned her away. At 6, a horrific assault by older boys, including a cousin, in Swink, Colorado, left her with a stutter and deep trauma she buried for decades. At 18, another assault, a date rape, reopened those wounds, forcing her to carry silent pain into adulthood. Greer's strength was rooted in her heritage. Her mother's family escaped slavery via the Underground Railroad, settling in Wyoming, a legacy of survival that fueled her resilience. In 1967, at 18, she entered the Miss Colorado Universe pageant to fund college at Metropolitan State College, placing as a finalist and catching a Hollywood agent's attention. With just $200, she moved to Los Angeles, working over 40 jobs: receptionist, hostess, nude model for art classes, while chasing acting dreams. Bullied as a child for her mixed Black, Hispanic, Filipino, Chinese, and Cheyenne heritage, she trained in martial arts, transforming pain into power. This toughness defined her screen presence. She wasn't acting tough, she was tough. Her Hollywood journey began with an uncredited role in Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, 1970, earning $25 but gaining invaluable experience. Early roles leaned on stereotypes, tribal women, exotic villains, but in 1971, Roger Corman cast her in The Big Dollhouse, a $125,000 film that grossed $10 million, launching the women in prison genre and Greer's career. She trained rigorously, gaining muscle and mastering stunts, including a grueling mud wrestling scene filmed in knee-deep water. In Women in Cages, 1971, she played a sadistic warden, a role she later criticized for exploitative nudity but made unforgettable with her intensity. The Big Bird Cage, 1972, saw her as a rebel using real guerrilla tactics, performing dangerous stunts like a bamboo mill scene that felt all too real. In 1973, Coffee made her a legend. As a nurse-turned-vigilante, Greer improvised an iconic scene, hiding razor blades in her afro for a fight, a moment that became a cultural touchstone. Foxy Brown, 1974, pushed further, with Greer choreographing a brutal castration scene that shocked audiences and helped the film earn $4 million. She redefined women in action, portraying not victims but avengers. In The Arena, 1974, she trained with swords as a gladiator, enduring injuries during a chariot chase. Sheba, Baby, 1975, showcased her karate skills, but as blaxploitation faded, Friday Foster, 1975, and Bucktown, 1975, marked her final major roles in the genre, with improvised lines on women's rights resonating deeply. The 1980s brought challenges. In Fort Apache, The Bronx, 1981, her chilling role as a drug-addicted killer showed her range, but Something Wicked This Way Comes, 1983, saw Disney cut her scenes, wary of a black woman in fantasy. Television became a refuge. On Miami Vice, 1985 to 1989, she played a tough detective, drawing on her military upbringing. She also directed theater at UCLA, staging an all-black Frankie and Johnny to challenge casting norms. Her personal life was turbulent. Relationships with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Freddie Prinze, and Richard Pryor ended in heartbreak, with Pryor's drug use leaving cocaine residue in her body, a betrayal she confronted in 1976. In 1988, at 39, Greer faced a devastating diagnosis, stage 4 cervical cancer, with 16 to 18 months to live. Filming Above the Law with Steven Seagal, she hid her illness, enduring chemotherapy while wearing wigs and losing weight. Her mother's nursing knowledge and her own discipline, running 6 miles daily, avoiding meat and drugs, kept her grounded. Inspired by a PBS documentary, she combined Eastern medicine, acupuncture, herbs, yoga with chemotherapy. Against all odds, she entered remission, a miracle she credits to nature, discipline, and faith. Yet, the emotional toll was immense. Her sister's 1990 death from breast cancer and her nephew's suicide deepened her grief. Therapy later uncovered PTSD from childhood assaults, revealing her tough roles as armor for survival. Her 1997 comeback in Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown, written for her, earned a Golden Globe nomination and $74 million, honoring her blaxploitation roots. She shone in Lynx, 1998 to 2000, as a political leader, Jawbreaker, 1999, as a detective, and The L Word, 2004 to 2009, as Kit Porter, tackling addiction and love. In 2019, at 70, she danced in Palms as a cheerleader, proving age couldn't dim her fire. Her 2010 memoir, Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts, sold over 100,000 copies, detailing her traumas and resilience. A biopic, Pam, is in development, with Jay Farrow as Pryor. Greer's influence is undeniable. Halle Berry called her a trailblazer, yet the lack of an Oscar nomination, unlike peers like John Travolta, stings, as noted by IndieWire in 2016. She rejected Harvey Weinstein's advances in the 1970s, later sharing her story during #MeToo. False rumors, like a Fresh Prince ban, were debunked. She filmed her 1994 role without issue. In 2024, at 76, she charmed on The Jennifer Hudson Show, joking about Snoop Dogg fainting upon meeting her. Greer's advocacy for cancer awareness and survivors of assault, through TED Talks and public speaking, amplifies her voice. Her films inspired hip-hop, with artists like SZA sampling her lines. She mentors young actors, emphasizing authenticity. From surviving trauma to beating cancer, Pam Grier's life is a testament to unbreakable strength, rewriting Hollywood's rules and leaving a legacy that endures. Pam Grier, born May 26, 1949, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, emerged as a trailblazing icon, often hailed as the Queen of Action Films. Her mother, Gwendolyn, a nurse, and her father, Clarence, an Air Force mechanic, moved frequently due to his job, leaving young Pam rootless. At 7, in Swindon, England, she noticed a surprising absence of racial prejudice compared to America, where, upon returning in 1958 to Denver, she faced harsh racism, denied service at restaurants and barred from whites-only pools. At 6, a traumatic assault by older boys, including a cousin, in Swink, Colorado, left her with deep scars and a stutter, a secret she hid for decades. At 18, another assault reopened those wounds, shaping her guarded nature. Despite adversity, Grier's resilience shone. In 1967, at 18, she entered the Miss Colorado Universe pageant to fund college, catching a Hollywood agent's eye. Moving to Los Angeles with just $200, she juggled over 40 jobs: receptionist, hostess, even nude modeling, while breaking into acting. Her martial arts training, born from childhood bullying for her mixed Black, Hispanic, Filipino, Chinese, and Cheyenne heritage, became her on-screen strength. Her breakout came in 1971 with The Big Dollhouse, a low-budget hit that grossed $10 million, launching the women in prison genre. Grier's raw physicality and stunt work in films like Women in Cages, 1971, and The Big Bird Cage, 1972, made her a star, though she later regretted exploitative nude scenes. In 1973, Coffee cemented her legend status. As a vigilante nurse, Grier improvised an iconic scene, hiding razor blades in her afro for a fight, symbolizing her fierce defiance. Foxy Brown, 1974, pushed boundaries further, with a shocking castration scene she choreographed, redefining women in action films. Her roles in Sheba, Baby, 1975, and Friday Foster, 1975, showcased her versatility, blending action with social commentary. Yet, as the blaxploitation era waned, her career hit hurdles. In 1981, Fort Apache, the Bronx showed her range as a dark, complex character, but 1983's Something Wicked This Way Comes saw her role diminished by Disney's hesitance to feature a black woman in fantasy. In 1988, at 39, Greer faced her toughest battle, stage 4 cervical cancer, with 16 to 18 months to live. Filming Above the Law during chemotherapy, she hid her illness, relying on discipline from her military upbringing and her mother's nursing wisdom to endure. Combining Eastern medicine, acupuncture, herbs, yoga with chemotherapy, she defied odds, entering remission. The emotional toll was heavier. Her sister's death from breast cancer in 1990 and her nephew's subsequent suicide compounded her grief. Therapy later revealed her childhood trauma, linking her on-screen ferocity to real-life survival. Greer's 1997 comeback in Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown, written for her, earned a Golden Globe nomination and $74 million at the box office, reviving her career. She continued shining in Lynx, 1998 to 2000, Jawbreaker, 1999, and The L Word, 2004 to 2009, bringing depth to every role. Her 2010 memoir, Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts, laid bare her traumas, including assaults and toxic relationships with figures like Richard Pryor, whose drug use endangered her health. In 2019, at 70, she danced in Palms, proving her vitality. Her 2018 TED Talks on surviving cancer and assault inspired many, while her 2024 Jennifer Hudson Show appearance showed her enduring charisma. Greer's legacy transcends cinema. She paved the way for black women in action roles, inspiring stars like Halle Berry, who credited her influence. Despite no Oscar nomination, a snub critics noted compared to peers like John Travolta, her impact endures. A biopic, Pam, is in development, with Jay Pharoah as Pryor. False rumors, like a supposed Fresh Prince ban, never dimmed her truth. From rejecting Harvey Weinstein's advances in the 1970s to advocating for cancer awareness, Greer remains a fighter, her strength forged in pain and her triumphs a testament to her unbreakable spirit.